Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Standards of Geekness. I'm one half of your hosts, Easy E, Evan Jones,
And
Brian.
I'm Brian. I'm Brian Mercer. It's Mercer Mania. It's Mercer Mania season. I don't want anyone to get confused with that other show that is going to be on for 2 nights. The real holiday is Mercer Mania.
How you
That
been, buddy?
reminds me. That reminds me. Evan, have you wished your co-host a happy Mercer Mania?
I have not had a chance to talk to you really a whole lot today. Happy Mercer Mania. Although it looks like it's Happy Mania Mercer, according to your name.
Oh, that's true. Hold on.
Branding.
We can change this. We can fix this.
Yeah, Lord knows I do it to Daniel all the time. So those of you out there, it's been kind of a interesting past week and a half in wrestling. Um, we're gonna kind of keep it light tonight. We figure if WWE can play fast and loose heading into Mania, so can we. We apologize again. We weren't able to be live last night. My internet was just not cooperating until like later. So we're live tonight, and we greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And
And
I'm ready
thanks for
to
tuning
talk.
in, everybody. And I want to say this. I want to encourage everybody to comment, to write some comments down. Let us know like what you like about the show, what you'd like to see more of. Let us know what you like and don't like about this current WrestleMania season. We absolutely love engaging with you guys, and we'd like to do it more. So
Yeah,
please talk
absolutely.
to us. You know, I think I think that this Mercer Mania, I'm gonna start things off tonight doing something unexpected, doing something um, that I know will make somebody out there choke on a chicken nugget. Okay.
He's definitely choking some type of chicken.
Mm, good stuff there. Um. All right. So, several months ago, going almost a year back now, we had Daniel Roberts on the show with us, and we had this kind of running joke um, where he legitimately had this whole pitch for Obafemi and Obafemi's like rise to greatness and becoming like a main eventer and everything, and we kind of played a mean joke on him where he legitimately thought every week that we were going to let him tell his story, and we didn't. And here I am, a year later, ready to eat a piece of humble pie and say I made a mistake. I made a mistake, Daniel. I should have let you tell your story because here we are going into WrestleMania, and I think that the most anticipated match, the match that we actually are looking forward to seeing, is the match that you pitched. So good on you, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Daniel definitely had a pitch for that. It's interesting. I think everybody was super high on what Oba could do, but Daniel definitely was ahead of his time. So GG's to Daniel on that one. Got some comments already.
Yeah, it's Daniel.
It's
Daniel
Daniel.
popping in. He's excited. Well, how you doing, Daniel? Good to see you tonight.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
House of Oba. It looks like it's gonna. The House of Oba is arriving at WrestleMania with or without you, whether we have time or not.
yeah.
Um,
Speaking of things arriving, whether they want to or not, we got to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
let's talk about it.
Okay, what the actual fuck have we been saying for the last like year and a half, 2 years?
Well,
Number one, we've been preaching that WWE and TKO needs to lower their prices. So let's toot our own horns. Um,
yeah,
but
I think officially, without any predictions going into WrestleMania weekend, I think you and I have officially earned the SOG Prediction Tag Team Championships.
I think so. Yeah.
Um, for calling every bit of this, but there was somebody else who said it a lot louder than either you and I have said it, and that's Mr. CM Punk.
That's true. I guess before we get into what Punk actually said, though, I guess we should kind of lay the groundwork a
Please.
little bit. So, for those of you who may or may not know, maybe hiding under a rock last week Friday, they hyped this big angle where it's going to be revealed who Randy Orton was talking on the phone with, and it was revealed, and this might be the single biggest negative reaction to a swerve or debut or angle in modern history. Pat McAfee was revealed to be the voice in Randy Orton's head. Um, I have a lot to say about this entire thing.
Go ahead, man. I won't interrupt you. You know, I have a lot of feelings about this too. I think we all do,
So
and I think it's important that we all get this off our chest.
I personally don't have a problem with what Pat said. I have a problem that it was Pat fucking McAfee saying it. Pat has been around WWE last 2-3 years, and it's a case
A
of
coffee and
right
a handshake.
message. Yeah, it's a case of right message, wrong messenger, in my opinion. And I think it is an interesting idea to lean into everybody's in the IWC's negative opinions about the modern product, lean into people reminiscing about the Attitude Era. Actually, I'm pretty sure we talked about this last year towards Mania about how that would be really interesting. TKO WWE, you might need to start paying us royalties for this. um,
Yeah, we have it all on video. That is the
yeah,
wonder of YouTube.
that is the wonder of YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, which we're all live on. And make sure you go and subscribe. Let us know what you want to see. But yeah, it for me, it's a case of the right message, wrong messenger. There's I feel like this was supposed to be Vince McMahon or The Rock or somebody else, and it
If
would have hit so much harder if it
the Rock,
was.
hold on, if this was The Rock saying this, it would have been perfect.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing,
The like he's the guy who has the credibility and the stance in the business that if he had said this, we all would it would have gone from a viral in a bad way moment to a viral in a very good way moment.
and he has history with Cody, a little bit of history with Randy, and him kicking Cody in the balls. Which, by the way, Cody, at this point, man, if we're heading into Mania, you just need to not trust anybody and go full Stone Cold. You've gotten turned on every year heading into Mania. You've gotten your ass beaten by a bald man every year heading into Mania. Like, and I don't necessarily think that this was a bad idea. I think it was a bad idea to have Pat McAfee be the messenger. And what got me even further was later that evening, Cody coming out in, I believe it was either during a match or in the after match, attacking Kit Wilson with a crossroads, getting a mic and absolutely burying the angle, burying Pat and killing the absolute shitty angle on the spot. And it almost seemed like a work shoot, and which I don't have a problem with that. I think that's probably they probably saw the negative reaction, the visceral reaction to it, and they were just like, you know what, like we need to do something, a little bit of damage control, and fired up Cody on the mic. That's the best version everybody loves is when Cody is fired up on a mic. And honestly, the person I feel worst about for this entire situation is Randy. Like, he's probably just trying to be a good company soldier and just like, okay, I'll go out there and make this work. And I don't want to see Pat McAfee near a ring or with a mic in his hand. I don't like the guy to begin with, but like, oof, oh
so
my god.
I had a flashback. I was having flashbacks when Pat McAfee was in the ring and I'm watching this whole segment and it it all went it like I think it might have been because of the whole like reveal
Mm-hmm.
aspect of the angle,
It was
but
garbage.
you know what it reminded me of?
Yeah, which if it would have been Vince, this would have hit hard too.
Oh yeah, no. If this would have been Vince, it would have been amazing. If this would have been uh I heard rumors that Arn Anderson was
I would have
well,
been way more.
that would have been so cool on like a meta level with his
Him in
history
AEW with
in
Cody
AEW. Um yeah, I think anybody who had history, like long
with
term
Randy or with
history.
Cody or anything like that would have made way more sense. Triple H, that would have hit hard, and it would have tied back into the whole
Okay,
like
Daniel, you're saying this. Imagine if it was Riddle, as if it was a joke. But even Riddle
would have been
uh,
better
would have been better. He's a former like tag team champion.
with
Was
Randy.
in oh my God, with Randy too. That would have tied the bow on it.
It literally could have been anybody else that had
Oh,
history with these two or one of them.
Dan
And
accidentally stumbling into the best booking choice. Bring Riddle back.
yeah, no, the Riddle, the Rock, Rock, Riddle, Vince, Arn Anderson, hell, Ric Flair would have been a better reveal than this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like my whole thing with this is it just seems like it was a reactionary thing where they couldn't get option A, so they went with option Z.
I mean, you know another one. You know another guy who would have been really cool to be the guy. Um, John Cena.
I thought about that. I was like having corporate John Cena be the one as I think
No, no,
they've also
you don't have to go. You don't have to go corporate with it. You don't have to go corporate with it. But Cena looking at Orton, another guy, like a brother from the same generation,
mhm.
essentially, and just being like, "I got the. Do you realize how I got this? Do you realize what? Like you were in the locker room. You saw the things I had to do to become 17. So you know what you have to do."
Mhm. And that would have made way more sense. But instead, we've got John Cena as the host of WrestleMania, and
Which this goes back to like all there have been several. This reminds me of like Cena, and Kurt Angle. We
mhm,
all wanted Kurt Angle's last match to be against Cena. It would have been the best possible opponent for him. And then we got the whole Baron Corbin bullshit. But it was even worse knowing that Cena's in the building with the Jinko jeans waiting to go. Like,
yeah, that was honestly the biggest like rage-inducing thing from that Mania. Like you have this opportunity to do this, it's right there in front of you. Just and I think sometimes WWE gets in their own way and they overthink things. And to me, this just I I would I think it was maybe their attempt also to get some heat on Randy because the crowd's refusing to boo him. I don't I think this was the wrong way to go about it. I
I
just
think that's really part of the issue here is you're not really listening to the crowd.
hmm
Okay. The crowd doesn't
like
want to boo Randy. They don't want to they don't want to boo Randy more than they don't want to boo Cody.
hmm
So they're gonna like in the at the end of the day, when they are forced into the position of having to pick a side, they're gonna pick Cody because what has been missing. Okay, Cody is another one of the like. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock Cody, but he's another one of those, corporate straight laced goody two shoes.
white meat
He's
babyface.
yeah, he's broken straight from the model of Hulk Hogan and John Cena, and that's all great and good. But we're at a point in the wrestling like life cycle, which is circular, where
Mhm.
we've come back to that point where you need to break bad.
Yeah.
Like
No, absolutely.
Kevin
It,
Owens, Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens, or Christian Cage. These guys who have gone super heel,
mhm.
and the resounding positive
Mhm.
reaction that they end up getting. I think that's where we're heading. And you need to figure out who that next Stone Cold Steve Austin is, not who the
Well,
next John Cena is.
yeah. Well, and I think it also sets a bad precedent because you've got the white meat babyface. People are resenting him. People are in the live crowds are booing him. Kind of like Hulk was getting booed in '93 and '94 or not '93. Basically, towards the end of his WWE run, where he was being booed more than he was being cheered. There's a lot of fan resentment. They don't want to. They don't want to boo Randy. They don't want to be forced to cheer for Cody. You've
Hmm.
got to give the crowd a compelling reason to do this. And I don't know. Like I said, it's the right message, wrong messenger. That Kevin Owens would have been a good choice,
Hmm.
especially playing back in his history with
Oh,
Randy
that yeah.
and with
Well,
Cody.
see, that's the thing is like you could have gone several ways. I actually think it would have been there could have been some really interesting stuff you could have done with Sami Zayn. Like
That that's
if
where I was going.
Sami Zayn if Sami Zayn and Randy Orton had both like kind of come together into this realization that the only way they were going to progress against the new generation that's coming in is to get down and dirty, and they're willing to do it together. Like, and that way you have a link between the United States Championship, and that feels more important. You have to the World Heavyweight Championship. Your stories start to coalesce, and things start to feel more organic, just naturally.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, I know Pat went live talking about how if Randy didn't win at Mania, people wouldn't see him again. And I'm like, okay, don't promise something you can't deliver on. Um, my whole thing is because we all know they're going to force Pat McAfee down our throats, despite whether or not we want it. My whole thing, and I'm not sure if this is just like Ari Emanuel, president of PKO. I know he's an agent. He's Pat McAfee's agent. Um, Apparently he's of the belief, or they're trying to pitch him in a Hollywood way where they can get him to be the next Sylvester Stallone, is what I've been reading. No, no one's gonna believe an NFL punter is the next Sylvester Stallone, next Rocky, next Terminator, next Arnold. Yeah, you. They seem to be of the mindset, at least from what I'm seeing, of where they can just manufacture kind of like this false positive that people will want these things, and that it's really they want them. They want people to want them, and they're just really bad at getting to the finish line. This is where Vince McMahon is, especially in his earlier days, was super cognizant. And he recognized star power. He'd lean into it, and he got people there most of the time the right way. Towards the end, not so much, but um, God, this was so fucking bad. Like, do fucking better, WWE. And it somehow gets worse and also better. uh, Monday Night Raw. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. I guess
We
let's
got a
yeah,
a little bit better than just talking about it tonight.
yeah. Here,
How
let's go
about
ahead and
let's listen to it?
And you would think I'm done, but I'm not, because everybody's getting it tonight. Pat McAfee! You buggy-whipped arm, no-brain hillbilly. You think you can come here to the business, my business of pro wrestling, and run your mouth while you just wrote a check that your narrow ass can't cash? You want to talk about ticket sales? Do me a favor. Call up that agent that was foolish enough to shoehorn you into this business and this show and tell him to lower the ticket prices. I'll be damned if I'm gonna have you, somebody who kicked a football for a living, come to my business and talk to me about selling tickets and putting asses in seats. You got a receipt coming to you.
Tell me when he's still alive.
Somebody
Houston,
listen to the show.
Lower the ticket prices, because I want all these families to come and watch me stand on Roman Reigns' throat at WrestleMania. Because my name is CM Punk, and I have approved this message.
It's almost like CM Punk's a fan of the show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay,
Uh,
okay. So we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this promo because here's where it gets really interesting to me. You and I both know, hands down, this is not an unscripted pipe bomb. Like, yeah, he went out there, and I'm sure it wasn't like all written down. However, he had to get approval for a lot of that shit, and I guarantee you, Hunter knew a rough idea of what he was gonna say before he went out there, and I would even go
absolutely.
so far as to guess that Hunter approached him and went, "Hey, Phil, I need someone who can deliver a message." And that's what that felt like to me.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what the Cody promo from SmackDown after he came back out, where he you know, the Disco Inferno line had me in absolute fucking stitches. Like, what is it? 6 years later, 7 years later, 8 years later, after All In, AEW starting, that Disco Inferno is still catching strays. It's 30 years later. Disco Inferno has earned strays. But no, I think, and I was talking with
To
a
his
friend of the
credit, you have to be you have to be like just the right level of irrelevant, but still be known to get referenced like 25 years after your career freaking ended.
yeah, and that's a WCW deep cut.
Damn, nice. You know what? You get a gold star tonight. I
Yeah.
haven't given one of those out in a while.
If I'm getting a gold star for that, I think we have to give Daniel a gold star for House of Oba.
I will
I
give.
think we do.
You know what? We will give Daniel a gold star for House of Oba.
um, but yeah. So my whole thing is, and I was talking with friend of the pod, motherfucker, yesterday. He brought a valid point up to me. He mentioned that there's been a lot of teasing of like tension between TKO and WWE, whether it's a work shoot or work. But if it is, having Cody and Phil cut these promos, they're basically smart ways to distance yourself from bad decisions. That way, it
Mhm.
falls upon the people who actually made them. And it got me thinking. I was just like, this isn't the first time TKO has inserted itself into the build of a Mania. Obviously, with the build with Roman versus Cody 2, with The Rock coming on board and being a member of the board, that made sense. Last year, Travis Scott and The Rock, John Cena.
That was horrible. Like there's no way to say it. Like it was literally that one angle cratered 3 to 4 months of television.
Absolutely. And I would argue that I think the only reason that this didn't happen sooner is because they were afraid it would crater 3 to 4 months of television. And I think they did themselves a disservice with how they built this story up, because Randy, in the first time he's on the phone with somebody, he literally says wrestling has more than one royal family.
Mhm.
With all the people we talked about, it could have been Ted DiBiase Jr.
Yeah.
It could have been
I mean,
Bob Holly.
ultimately, I think the angle that really should have been built on is Cody. You're right. Wrestling does have more than one royal family, and I'm a second generation superstar, just like you.
No,
Like,
he's a third.
did you? Or yeah, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. But regardless, the point is he is wrestling royalty. Like he is
Mhm.
says that same lineage. and has just as much claim to the throne that Cody holds. And so if you would have framed it all with like that royalty kind of imagery behind it,
Yeah, and
it could have been really interesting. Like there's a
yeah,
lot. I think that's probably the most frustrating thing. Is like you and I sit here and we're like, okay, this way would have been better. This way would have been better. This way would have been better. This way, and we like it's not even like we're trying that hard.
no,
We're
like it. It frustrates me as a fan because I'm just like, we should be in the golden renaissance of wrestling, and
with
I'd
the talent
argue,
that's there, absolutely.
talent-wise, we are. I mean, and after all the terrible fucking booking that we've had all year long with WWE, the inconsistencies, the flip-flopping, AEW is looking like a gold mine. Tony Khan, he tweeted out after that SmackDown, AEW were the best of the wrestles, and left it at that. He had a shit-eating grin on his face. He did an interview with Coach and Russo. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I saw a still image of it where he's just sitting there going, just smiling right in their faces, and I'm just like, realistically, I don't think it's intentional. But this is only going, especially if they continue, WWE continues to go down this path of building bad big time events. The fans are going to get pissed off because we're paying out our ass for these seats. The
Well,
shows have sucked donkey cock.
so again, CM Punk comes out, he cuts that promo, and all of that had to be approved um by Hunter. That's Hunter straight up saying lower the ticket prices. They know the problem. Like guys who have been in the business, real talk, and this is what is the most frustrating to me about TKO. People have been in the business. We all, at some point, are wrestling in these shitty little venues for an audience of 20 or 30 or 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like this has happened to every single wrestler I know. Okay. And this is part of that growing and that learning.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to it just being those 20 or 30 people, those 20 or 30 people still paid their hard-earned money to come and see you. They decided out of all the things in the fucking world that they were going to do on that Saturday afternoon, evening, that they were going to come see you. And so you still give it everything you have for them. Those same people grow with you. You know where
Mm-hmm.
they come from, and you know where every one of them comes from isn't from some rich high rise. They're the guys working in factories. They're the guys who are taking their last $20 to bring their kids down to see you, who are spending their last $10 at your merch table.
Yep. And the thing is, and I think TKO, they're a corporate entity. They don't understand wrestling history to a degree. I mean, they probably have people at WWE telling them wrestling started as a carnival thing, a
That's
sideshow
right.
meant for the average person to be able to come and see.
Well, think about it. What you just said. A sideshow, not even the main tent.
Mm-hmm.
That means this was understood that it was even a side, like less paid for thing than
Mm-hmm.
the main event.
Yep. No, and I've seen some of the wrestling history books where they've got like people saved tickets from like the late 1800s
Hmm.
at the carnivals where it says 10 cents for your wrestling show, and it's like a three-match card. Well, like you got to think about it, at the time, 10 cents was like $20 here just
Hmm.
now.
Hmm. Hmm.
And my whole thing, and I think that TKO being the corporate entity that they are, they don't understand their audience. They came from the UFC. The UFC's only been around for like what, 35 years. People in the UFC, it's a different thing. It is an active sport. But let's look at entertainment medium as a whole, especially given the economic constraints that we have in today's modern society. Okay, prices of gas. If I'm driving from Chicago or Detroit, it's costing me at least $50 to $60 to fill up. Because I fill up when I'm the type of neurotic driver. When I get to a half tank, I fill up my gas. That's just who I am. And then I might have to fill up again on the way home. So
Mm-hmm.
$100, all right, or $120. Then I got to pay for parking. Okay, well, in Chicago, depending on what arena you're at, that's $20. Could be 30. In
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, it's about 15.
Mm-hmm.
You know, certain shows, depending on what you're going to see, parking is included, and if it's the time of day. But then you have to factor in the price of tickets. When we went to Raw,
I was just
and
gonna
SmackDown,
bring this up.
what was it? That was December. It was or January. I don't remember.
Yes, it was December, and so this was the non-live shows, like the pre-recorded shows that were gonna be broadcast during their holiday weekend, and so they lowered the ticket prices just for this show,
Yeah,
and we were like, okay,
yeah. It was
we
like I
will,
think we
we
paid.
like wrestling, we love going to wrestling events together, so we got tickets, but
I think it was like
I'm just gonna point
$30.
this out. Even at that reduced ticket price, right? When you add in the fact that like we got t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
we got drinks, we paid
Food.
for parking, we paid for food, we had to drive out, you and I both had to drive out there separately that night
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep.
we
Because
had stuff going
yeah,
on. Um like and then
it was
there's the ticket cost.
and I think we each paid what 50, 60, something to that.
60.
Yeah, 60,
Well,
which
60,
is way.
60 is the initial cost. Then there's all the Ticketmaster fees
Yeah,
that
which
get
was like an extra
stacked up onto
$20 or
it.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
So I
like,
mean,
yeah,
for our cheap wrestling show, I would easily say you and I were each in for
150.
150.
Yeah, yeah, no, and it's beyond just wrestling. This is a problem the entertainment industry is struggling with as a whole right now, post COVID in particular. Live audiences are it's harder to get people to come to concerts anymore. It's harder to get people to come out to the. That's why movie theaters are struggling so much. Is because why should I come to the movie theater to see your movie when I could just wait like a month and get it on Netflix or Paramount? And it's
Can I
we're living in a society where costs a factor, convenience is a factor, but relevance is also a factor. And WWE for the last 4 to 5 months has struggled to maintain its relevance at times.
so on that specific note, one thing that has really kind of bothered me um about this WrestleMania season. A lot of people are knocking all the celebrities that are involved in WrestleMania this year, and I'm not actually knocking the number of celebrities because historically, celebrities have always been kind of a mixed part of
They're
WrestleMania. Usually, they have a much smaller
smaller.
role,
Well,
like just kind of seen in the
well,
background or a valet
WrestleMania
for
one,
somebody. Um,
Mr.
but
T.
yeah, Mr. T. Well, not just Mr. T, but the women's match. Cindy
Hmm.
Lauper was a big part of that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
WrestleMania is defined on that larger than life celebrity like appearance. So like it is a factor. I definitely.
yeah. And so, but the thing is, and I'm not trying it realistically. Like you and I, we are part of that target audience,
Mhm.
right? Okay, so you need to appeal to us just as much as you're trying to appeal to a younger audience.
Mhm.
And what I really feel in like the celebrities that I've been presented with here is I go, I don't really give a fuck about any of them. None of them are like have
Mhm.
any relevance to me or my cultural or pop cultural history. I mean, cool, Jelly Roll had a big hit song. Like
He's had a few.
he's had a few, but he's had one really big hit.
Yeah, but at least with
He's had a
him,
but okay. So I'll get so like I'm okay. All right, all right. Um then there's Little Yachty, who
I forgot he existed.
but that's like, okay, cool. You want to appeal to a younger demographic? That's cool. Pat McAfee. I don't look at Pat McAfee as a celebrity. I'm sorry, dude.
He's a
That
sports
you just
commentator, in my opinion.
yeah. Well, not just a sports commentator, but he's a wrestling commentator. That's how he's been viewed by the wrestling audience for a long time. So realistically, are you excited that Michael Cole is going to be at WrestleMania?
About as excited as you were at 27.
I mean, even if I was like, hey, JR or Jerry the King Lawler or uh Jesse Ventura are going to be there, there's still I mean Jesse Ventura, former governor, movie star, right? There's credibility there, but to a wrestling audience, he's still the
The
body.
body. Hmm. Well, and I definitely see where you're coming from. So on one hand, I will never detest celebrity involvement in WrestleMania or wrestling in general. I think it's good for the general product. What I have a problem with is it being force fed into storylines and into major storylines and it being molded around them. Perfect terrible example like we talked about earlier. Logan's and that's fair. And we are part of the target audience. I can understand that like
Okay,
we're at the upper end of that, Daniel.
here's
I'll finish my point and we'll come back to that.
here's the thing. Logan Paul is part of why this is so like it feels so icky because Logan Paul is the celebrity that never went away.
Mhm.
And I don't think that that's really I don't think Logan Paul even understands that.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point he's been around long enough that I don't think he's just a celebrity anymore in there. He can clearly go.
No, no,
He's
he's really no, no. He's trying to put in his dues like the Miz. And for that I respect it.
yeah.
Okay?
And
But it's still jumping up to the varsity level without paying your underdues, you
mhm.
know.
Well, and that's
Um
unfortunately that's part of what celebrity life is you don't have normal you don't go through you're not working the 9 to 5 you jump to the front of the line because you're rich or because you're visible within in the entertainment industry like that is one of the
but
advantages that they have over that.
But
It-
that's
you-
that speaks right to the core issue of why the fan base is like revolting so much. It's the rich celebrities getting the jump ahead of the line in in the business, and
mhm,
then you're you're expecting us to pay more in ticket
mhm,
prices and subscription fees to see all of this. It's like a double slap in the face to anyone who is blue collar.
you're not wrong. I mean, to go back to my point, like I said, I will never diss a celebrity trying to be involved in this. I think it's important to really rein it in, and I think it needs to be done strategically. I'm fine with the I showed speed stuff with LA Knight. I find it weird that we're now getting a 6 man tag to get I show speed and Logan Paul into a match with Austin Theory versus the Usos and LA Knight, and like I'm just like man, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Jelly Roll, particularly him being he's been around, he's been at least at the performance center, you know he's paying his dues with learning, cleaning, sweeping the mats. He's doing some of it. He's trying to, obviously he didn't come into the wrestling life from the get-go. That's not where he started, but like what gets me is just it seems like it's a little bit of more or not morally creatively bankrupt storytelling when it comes to expecting me to believe that Jelly Roll can defeat Drew McIntyre
okay,
or
so
expecting
that's I think that's part of it. Is you know when you have Sami Zayn against Johnny Knoxville, right? And the reason that Johnny Knoxville wins isn't because he has like superior ability to the wrestler. It's because of all this bullshit and shenanigans.
And it makes sense.
And yeah, so as fans, we're like, we can get behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're trying to market a rapper, a singer, a YouTube personality as being on the same level as not just guys who do this for a living, but the top echelon of guys
Mm-hmm.
who do this for a living, it it feels disingenuous. It's literally going, well, why shouldn't I? I mean, I'm a random podcaster. Why shouldn't I get a title shot?
The WWE Podcast Bros Tag Team Championships.
Evan and I definitely deserve a tag team title shot.
You and me versus Tony Hinchcliffe and whatever jabroni he finds, right?
I don't care. Yeah, bring him on. I'm telling you right now, we
Pat
deserve.
McAfee.
We had Pat McAfee. Oh, it's gonna go so well. CM Punk's gonna come out and help us.
And realistically, I'm okay with that because as the audience member, I'm not. You know, I've done bumps. I've trained a little bit. I'm not a seasoned vet. You're not presenting it as
You're
I'm
telling me
Roman Reigns and Logan Paul is like right here with me
But you're telling me I have to take 90% of the bumps in this match?
with
Oh,
my back and
man.
knees these days. Yes.
Man,
Unless you.
I need more. I'm gonna need to tell them they need to pay me more.
$1 per bump. It's the whole
This is
$100,000.
WrestleMania. You can $100.
But my biggest thing is the being realistic with the expectations that as me as a fan I already have and what limitations there are. But I think WWE needs to kind of rein in their storytelling a little bit when it comes to these. And I barely know who I Show Speed is. I don't like the fact that I know who the Paul brothers are. Like, I don't want to know them. They're like the fucking male Kardashians. Pat McAfee, the only reason I know him is because I've gone to some Colts games and I've watched him play. Jelly Roll, and I've listened to some of his music.
Okay, but there's a significant difference in notability and star level between like LT back in the day and Pat McAfee. I mean,
absolutely, that'd be like Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Then that's what I was gonna say. I was like, man, if we're talking Tom Brady, that's a little bit different. Like at least
on what I've been hearing is Tom Brady might be trying to work an angle with Logan Paul. Maybe at WrestleMania, Tom Brady costs Logan Paul and Austin Theory the match.
Okay, but I don't want to this is where it gets so frustrating. I want to bring. We're gonna go. Let's do a little wrestling history here. Wrestling. So John Cena was looking to break Ric Flair's record, and he's in a championship match. And if you recall, Jon Stewart decided to get involved in the match and cost John Cena the championship because no one should ever break Ric Flair's record. Anyway, it felt bad to watch. It felt cheap and like a cop out to watch. I don't like. I'm sorry, but if you're not going to be here for a while, if you're not part of this, then don't be part of this.
Well, it kind of speaks about the CM Punk when he went on Colt Cabana's podcast and did his interview where he talked about having to put Brock over and Taker over and Ryback or somebody else over, and he's like, "Well, are they going to be there?" And Vince would go, "Nope." So then, you're sacrificing a lot of audience equity with these wrestlers for nothing. Especially like if they're not going to be there the following Monday. Yeah. And Kenny Omega, I want to say little less than a year ago. He said he's like in an interview. He said, "I'm not sure where the line is, but in 5 years, the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Logan Paul versus Mr. Beast."
Hmm.
And he talked about the wrestling acumen and the dues paid, and you
Well, I
know,
think I
prophetic,
think
honestly.
I think legitimately, and I'm not trying to down the celebrity, like the actors and the comedians and the singers and stuff. But realistically, with all due respect, save that shit for Raw. Like if if you're a professional athlete, like when it was gonna be like Floyd Money Mayweather against Big Show, or there was talk about Shaq versus Big Show, like these are professional athletes, and so it makes it different. It makes it have legitimacy on a different like wavelength,
Hmm.
because you're like, all right, well, Shaq, he might not be a professional wrestler,
But
but
it's Shaq.
he's Shaq. He's freaking huge, and he's a professional athlete. He's a champion in basketball. We've seen
Who?
people who are good, athletes over here be able to take that skill and apply it over here. What could happen? That helps out a lot. Where you know, I really don't want to watch uh, Ken Jeong come in and be like, "I'm gonna take on uh,
Kane.
Kane." Yeah, exactly. Like,
And
sorry, that doesn't work for me.
doesn't work for me, brother. Ultimately,
And I love
I
Ken
am.
Jeong. I just want
Oh, he's hilarious. Ultimately, this begs the question, and I guess to kind of bring the rant a little bit home, what do we expect is out of the fans if we just keep throwing celebrities week in and week out? And I get they're trying to make WrestleMania seem like this much bigger deal because celebrities, and it's like it's the showcase of the immortals, and I get that, but like you make WrestleMania lose a lot of its luster. You make me as a fan not want to tune in. Like I'm looking at this card we're about to do predictions on, and it just seems like another different pay per view. To me, it just doesn't feel like WrestleMania. And I don't know if it's me turning into an old head to quote some of the young kids, but it feels less special than it used to. And I think
to.
that's partially due to TKO's meddling, partially due to lack of creative storytelling, and just lack of connection with their own audience.
I can get behind that. I mean, I know what it feels like to me.
Oh, I loved this show growing up.
But it's so true.
Let's get it
Re-
out.
why even bother to have the wrestlers? Let's just put two celebrities in there with a chainsaw and let them go at it. I mean, I don't. I mean, is the world really going to be worse off without a couple of celebrities? This might just be the answer.
I could get behind this. That I could think of a few celebrities that might need to participate in that.
Dude, I'm telling
Oh,
you right. I'm telling you right now. First episode, main event: Kanye West versus Diddy. Let's go in a steel cage. Steel
no,
cage
no,
death
no,
match.
no, no,
Steel
no,
cage
no,
death
no.
match.
If we're doing that, I need Vince Russo to come in and book this one. It's got to be a steel cage death match. The only way that's out over the top, but all four corners are covered in baby oil. Let's go.
If Vince Russo's booking it, he's gonna put a little kid in a steel cage to get
Hey, no,
really
no.
uncomfortable.
It's a Bieber on a pole match.
I'm telling you, it's a beaver on the pole match.
Oh
And with
man. All
that,
right. All right.
I
Well,
want to remind everybody to go to enforcechew.com. Use the code SOG25 to get yourself 25% off of your next order of Enforce Chew. It'll make you HARD. Got to get
all
that in
right,
there.
buddy. So
prediction time. Let's do this. Let's do this.
I have been holding this predictions championship for way longer than I think I thought I would.
Yeah, you're Roman Reignsing that thing.
Hey, I show up when we actually do it.
That's true. I'll give you that.
I'm excited to see what comes of this. Best of luck to you, I guess. Let's start it off.
Just like last year, we're gonna do this. We're gonna like call all the matches. We're gonna give all our predictions, but overall, it'll just be one lumped score for the 2 nights.
Yep. Are we doing 1 bonus point per night like we did last year?
Yes,
or are we
sir.
doing okay?
One
just want to
bonus
clarify
point.
that.
1 bonus point per night. So basically, we're gonna each get 2 bonuses, but we'll be a little more liberal because we don't know exactly when matches are happening. So
They did announce 2 matches will be on the first hour on ESPN2.
okay.
Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. The fall off here for Drew, man.
It's so hard. I feel so bad. Okay, so I'll
Both
go ahead.
men deserve better.
All right, I'll go ahead and as the challenger, I'll go ahead and start things off here. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. I think, and this is only because I know that Drew is planning on taking a hiatus following WrestleMania. He's got, I believe, some projects he's going to film.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we go ahead and let Jacob get a good big win.
I think that my logic here, we both got the same choice. I'm going with the Samoan Werewolf. Yes, Drew is going off to film Highlander, but even regardless of that, Drew's had a WrestleMania moment. This is Jacob Fatu's WrestleMania kind of debut on his own.
Mm-hmm.
This is a moment to solidify him. Both men were argued should have been in a championship contender match at some point, and I'd argue whoever wins here should be the next one to challenge for the title.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got the Samoan Werewolf here, so I will pencil us both in here. All right, next up's the 6-man tag match. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight.
Well, I know the fans are losing this match.
Yeah. I know I'm losing.
I'm
willing to do the job, brother.
So I think this is one of those spots where I'm gonna base it off the face or the heel. For the moment, I think that ISHO Speed is just there to take some bumps. And ultimately, this is just a filler match to make the baby faces look good and to make people a little happier. Usos and LA Knight go up.
No, I'm going to do something a little different here. So we've had Logan Paul and Austin Theory appeal to ISHO Speed. ISHO Speed is cursed currently. So he's been kind of taking the L's. I think this is his WrestleMania debut. Our result is not actually going to be different. I think Danhausen's going to play a role in this match. I got the Usos and LA Knight, the feel-good moment for the baby faces. I think ISHO Speed might become uncursed by this, and Austin Theory will end up taking the pin here. I don't think they're going to have ISHO Speed take the pin. To me, yes, celebrity shouldn't be that credible in it, but
no, this is a great spot for ISHO Speed to take a BFT.
Yep.
And take the loss. Let LA Knight get his shine at WrestleMania with the pin. I mean, it's not like either of the Usos need that moment. Kind of what you were saying about Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. All right. Well, since you went first on the pre-show, I'll go first here with the Women's Tag Championship. I've got Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie picking up the win here. We had the storytelling this last week where Bayley got the pin on Lash Legend with Lyra holding her down. I got involved. I think honestly this is kind of a filler match, and it's a shame because there's so many talented women here, and the Bella Twins. To me, it feels like this title needs a reset. I don't think it does anything for Charlotte or Alexa to win this. I don't. The Bella Twins, yes, I think they could eventually win, and they probably should. They should be the ones to take the titles off of Bailey and Lyra down the line. Nia Jackson, Lash Legend don't really need this. They're champions coming into this. I think this is a perfect opportunity for the babyfaces to pick up the dub.
All right. Finally, we're going to have some different results. So I am actually going to be going with the Bella Twins on this one. And not because I necessarily think they're the best tag team or because I think it's the best storytelling, but I think it's the WWE way of doing business. That's right, Evan. This time around, I'm making my picks like you. I'm my heart is out of this. Um, I think you're bringing you've brought both Nikki and Brie back, and they have the kind of legend level star power that you want to put into a WrestleMania. I think it's fun to have title changes. I think both of us agree the titles are changing hands.
Yeah, and it needs a fresh coat of paint, a
Yep.
new team to carry it.
And I don't think that Brie and Nikki are a team that need to stick around and hold the titles for long. I think they're nice transitional champions. I think you give them a month long reign, and then I think then we go the other way. We drop them um, to Bailey and Lyra, and then Bailey and Lyra, who can have much more longevity, go from there.
Yeah, and that's a route I had considered. I was just thinking from a standpoint of fresh restart, fresh feud. All right, well then we got you with the Bella Twins there, and me with
I
Bailey and
can't
Lyra.
like that. Really tells you how crappy this WrestleMania is. I'm picking the Bella Twins to win.
I know.
I don't think
Well,
I've ever picked the Bella Twins to win in my life.
we've got the Women's Intercontinental Championship match: AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch.
I mean,
I
okay.
called it a few while ago. I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch picking up the dub
Mhm.
here. I think it makes sense from a logistical standpoint. AJ Lee isn't around as often. She's got the legend status. Becky's, a legend. She's basically a legend. She's earned that spot in a way, but like she's still far more active. And I think realistically, having Becky pick up the win and then having a new NXT call up be her first feud is a perfect spot to really highlight that. And I think it gives it a fresh idea.
All right. So you ready?
Hmm.
I agree with you that Becky Lynch is going to win this, but here we go. Getting loose, getting loosey goosey. Here comes my extra point. Chelsea Green and Tiffy Time join Becky Lynch, creating a political stable, taking out AJ Lee, and branding the shows across both brands.
I could be down for that. I mean, Becky's kind of already doing an unhinged Donald Trump type gimmick on social media. Um, her interaction with Danhausen was hilarious.
Oh my god, that was so great. So I love Danhausen.
If he's not in a fucking blimp at WrestleMania, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Oh my god.
Like he's been the single saving grace outside of Obafemi and Brock Lesnar when it comes to live Raw and SmackDown television.
Incredible when he had like the worst debut in WWE history too.
I'd put it at number 2. The Gobbledygooker is still number 1 in my opinion.
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, it could have been worse.
Let us know down below. Let us know in the comments. Who do you think was a worse debut?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's hear it. Let's put a poll up on the page too. So I can dig that as an idea. Um, is it just me, or does it feel like this match needs a gimmick though? Like
Oh, it definitely feels like it needs a gimmick because we've already seen it once. So
we've
like
seen
in
it
the
twice.
well, in the effort of like the ramping up into WrestleMania, yeah, it makes sense that this would have a gimmick. Um, I don't think it's one. I think it's one of those that needs what I like to think of as soft gimmicks. You know,
Hmm.
your uh, submission only or
You could do something simple like just a false count anywhere.
falls count anywhere. Yeah,
Um,
just
yeah,
no DQ.
yeah. Let's do no DQ, but with extra steps. All right. Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Now, this is a match I don't think was originally planned for Mania. Um,
No, I'm so confused. Hold on, I'm literally confused because wasn't the whole idea like, oh, we want to have Gunther versus Rey Mysterio, and then they both show up on Raw and say that they're going to be in matches for WrestleMania, but not with each other.
I personally think maybe Ray might have said, "Hey, I don't want Gunther to be the one to retire me. I want my son to do it."
That's fair.
Like
Um,
I think out of what he's done for the business, they're giving him that respect. I personally, and we'll get to this on night two when we talk about it. I don't want to see Ray in the IC ladder match. He's 51.
the
He
only
ain't.
no, I think literally the only reason he's being put in there is one because Penta he wants to wrestle Penta. I think he legit wants to wrestle Penta,
Yeah,
and I think Penta wants to wrestle him. I
yeah.
think that's like just like an honorary thing, and I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
Um, and then I think I feel like he was called back early and asked, "Hey, we really need to boost up ticket sales. Rey Mysterio in
Hmm.
a ladder match kind of helps."
Yep. But yeah, Seth Rollins versus Gunther. So I don't think this is the original plan, like we just discussed. Um, I think Seth Rollins was supposed to face Braun Breaker, and I think Gunther was supposed to face Rey Mysterio. I think this is honestly all being done to set up the connections between Paul Heyman owing Gunther something down the line to set up Brock Lesnar's retirement.
Hmm.
Um, I got Gunther picking up the dub here. Seth doesn't need this at this point. Gunther, he has such the momentum behind him that, and they need to get him as far away from Dragon Lee as fucking possible to keep him relevant. Gunther picking up the W here makes the most sense because it continues the storyline for the Vision with Paul Heyman. It sets up the connections for down the line with Brock Lesnar. Seth, at this point, he's doing his sports stuff. He's doing some films. To me, this just makes sense.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think that Gunther on another. I would even say that I would go as far as to say I feel like Gunther needs to win this because
If he
I
doesn't,
feel
what the
like
hell?
Has lost some. I feel like Gunther has lost so much credibility ever since his feud with Jay. I feel like that's what really knocked it down. Not that he can't lose. Like I didn't feel this way when he took the loss to Sami Zayn at Mania, you know.
And people
But
shit on that.
and people did shit on that, but I didn't feel like that was like I was like, okay, Sammy's that scrappy underdog, and he's the like it's David and Goliath, and eventually you want that scrappy underdog to overcome the the beast, the monster. And so
Hmm.
like that's the story we always want to be told. So I'm fine with that story finally being told. But now we got to build the monster back up. And that only happens with sacrifice.
Hmm.
I
Well,
don't
and
think I would go as far as to say that this is the match on the card. Like I know it sounds crazy, but honestly, Seth has had a rough year and he's coming back and he doesn't need a long match. I
this
think
could
this should be
go
a
8-10
squash.
minutes,
No,
or
this could
or it
go
could be,
straight squash. I'd be fine with a squash here. I think it'd be impressive to have a
it would
squash
be,
here.
and that's the part that I was getting to. Is just I was like, to me, you either go one of two ways. You go 8 to 10 minutes, keep it simple, have Seth pass out, or it's a squash. where Seth just gets destroyed. You can even have Gunther attack him before the bell and like really lay it in. You can continue it. But Gunther absolutely needs the win. I do. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but his credibility when he taking that passing out, submitting to Jay, and then I think them, having him retire Cena, Goldberg, and AJ is an attempt to help build that credibility back up. But I think,
And all of those lose credibility instantly if he loses.
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Gunther should take an L until after SummerSlam. If he's the one to retire the Beast, he needs to be on an undefeated streak heading into that.
100% agree. 100% agree. A long undefeated streak.
Women's World Championship match: Stephanie Becker versus Liv Morgan. So,
one of the surprisingly decent builds.
It's been a decent build. Stephanie hasn't taken an L since she's come on the main roster, really. To me, I think the title needs a reset. I was going to pick Liv Morgan before this, simply for that reason, but I'm a little concerned with her and Roxanne now being in concussion protocol. So, because you've got Raquel, you've got Roxanne, you've got Liv. They kind of had a vignette for Liv last night. Stephanie's done an admirable job as a fighting champion. The Women's World Championship needs a reset. I've got Liv Morgan picking up the dub here.
I go back and forth on this. I think part of it really plays into what you want to do with the Judgment Day following WrestleMania. And so this also is going to, I think, play into the Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio contest.
Absolutely.
I think these two kind of just like go hand in hand. How exactly? I'm unsure. But I think the easiest way to be safe about it is probably to put the title on Liv, because if you want to send her singles, you can. If you want to keep her with Judgment Day, that's a unifying factor. So I think I'm going to follow you on this one. Liv Morgan for the win.
All right, and then the night one main event, which I don't really think should be the night one main event. Personally, I think this should be kicking off the show. I would have Oba and Brock as the night one main event. We've got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee.
Man, it just feels so bad to even call this match. Either way, to be honest, just
the fans
about
lose.
Yeah, it's just disappointment all around. So on the one hand, I'm like, I want to lean towards Randy Orton, legitimately. You've kind of stacked the chips in Randy's favor, and you've kind of hinted at the lack of opportunities like he may have going forward. Like he's got to get championship wins in if he wants to reach Cena level, where I'm gonna actually make my pick for Randy. And by the way, that's my pick.
Okay.
The reason is actually because if you're doing long-term thinking, if you can start from here and do the long-term thinking for where things should go down the line, a year from now, Randy Orton versus Gunther is the match you want to have. The legend killer that became a legend versus the world heavyweight champion in an attempt to do what only Cena has done before him. That's your main event next year.
I could be down for
build
that.
it right.
So I think that this is such a loaded thing for me. And it really kind of also depends on what they're doing with Punk versus Roman. This is tough. I want to pick Randy because it makes sense. You can build a lot more fresher stories at the top. I'll be honest, I think Cody Rhodes needs to go away for a little bit. It's the age-old adage of, you gotta make them miss you.
Less is more, man. Less is more.
I'm gonna go with Randy Orton, and I'm gonna use my bonus point. We're gonna get something.
I thought you'd already used your bonus point on Danhausen.
No, I just said I was gonna lose my shit if they didn't put him in a blimp.
Oh, I thought you called him to interfere.
No, I just said that I think it's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going with Randy Orton. I think one of two things is going to happen. We're going to see Sami Zayn or Jelly Roll turn on Cody, costing him the match.
Okay. Interesting pick on Sami Zayn. I feel like he's further removed.
I guess you have a valid point. Cody's not going to lose let me rephrase this. Cody will lose the match, and it will because he's been screwed by someone we don't expect.
Okay. You know what? I'd like to have some fun with you. I want to have some fun with you. I'd like to alter my extra point here. Erase my other extra point. I'm going to put my extra point in here with you. We're going to have some fun.
Okay.
Because I think that Cody breaks bad heel after losing. Well, maybe not after losing. I could see him turning heel in the match. Regardless, my call is for Cody Rhodes to turn heel at WrestleMania.
That would be an interesting way to go about it.
We need to shake things up.
We do. We're both in agreement there. All right, let's go ahead and head to night 2. We've got the Intercontinental Championship ladder match with Penta versus Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev versus Rey Mysterio. Man.
Just throw it all at the wall.
There's gonna be some amazing spots in this match. I guarantee that.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
I don't. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I don't believe Rusev or Rey Mysterio is winning this.
Nope, I agree with you there.
Neither have the credibility.
Rusev would be really. It would be really interesting to see Rusev win this. Like if they did it right, where Rusev didn't get in the ring, and you let almost the entire match take place, all these flippy high spots all over, and then at the end, Rusev just comes in and just mauls all these guys who are pretty much all down, sets up the ladder, walks up, and grabs the belt.
Yeah,
now that could be cool.
I don't think Dragon Lee is there yet.
No, I think this is really a choice between Penta and Javon Evans and JD McDonough. I think those are the three.
Those are the three logical.
JD McDonough winning this could create some very interesting tension in that Judgment Day story that's still breaking apart. Whether it's Dom feels like that's his belt, or whether Finn then wants to go after JD for the belt, could be very interesting. Penta, Penta's done nothing that makes me feel like his reign needs to come to an end.
Yeah, if you want to give the feel good moment here, I think Javon Evans is the choice. The boyhood dream. But I don't think his WrestleMania debut needs to be a win.
Yeah, I don't I don't feel like Javon Evans needs to win and doesn't need to win a championship the level of the Intercontinental title at his first WrestleMania. Like that just seems like too much. I think being in there with those caliber of stars is what is
It's
really
a
there
rub.
for him.
It's a rub.
Yeah,
Now
give him
next year, having him go back after
that's
it,
yeah, that's
build the
different. That's
drama a
different.
little bit. Then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead
Um,
and make my pick. I have my pick.
okay,
I'm gonna go with JD McDonough.
it's a good pick.
I I
It's a
think
solid pick.
it's kind of playing, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give my pick now. The Demon Finn Balor is going to beat Dominic Mysterio. It's a non-title match for the AAA thing, so like we don't have to worry about that. This builds that Judgment Day breaking apart story like you thought about, or like you mentioned. It sets up a feud between teacher and mentor with Finn versus JD, because JD was literally taught by Finn in getting
Mhm.
into the business. There's a lot of wheels here you could go with. I'm going to go with JD McDonough.
Okay. This also, when we talked about how this also plays into the Liv Morgan
Mm-hmm.
pick from earlier. Um, I am going to go with Penta retaining. We don't have a lot of retention. Neither of us, as we go through this card, are looking at a lot of retention in championships. Penta is definitely, I think, of all the title matches that we have, I think he's in the best position to keep the title because we can't. I think we can still have that mentor versus student feud, and if we want to make it for the Intercontinental Championship, we can
You
arrange
can
that
build their,
down the line.
yeah, totally respectable choice, and that's kind of is the other side of the coin for me. I just think it'd be a nice swerve to see JD McDonough get that moment.
It absolutely would, and I think he deserves it. I want to clarify that. I think he really deserves that moment. He's done some amazing work.
It's done some amazing work, especially it's a lot of work having to carry around a Funko Pop, head.
I
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, I'm hoping I'm reading this wrong. The first two matches on night two are also going to be on ESPN, and
oh,
that's one of them. The other one
give it
being
all to me.
Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar.
No,
There's no fucking way. This has got to
no
be out of
way they're
order.
giving that away.
Now,
No
I could
way.
see
I mean, I know Lesnar likes to work the beginning of the night, but damn,
it.
don't give away, guys. Do fucking better. That match is the match that people will pay to see.
Well, Lesnar in the past, when he knows he's losing, likes to be the first one out. If we see Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar kick off night two, we already know Oba Femi is going to win.
I don't think. Hold on. Is there any? Okay, I was gonna pick Obafemi to win anyways. Like you can put that
Yes.
down.
Yes, I
I
am
don't.
as well.
I don't think there's any world where Obafemi wins this. I think the real question is, does Gunther attack after the match? And if he does, who does he attack? Which one of them? Or both? Like, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say my night two prediction right now. Gunther comes out here and lays waste to both of them after the match.
Is that your
Looks
bonus?
right at and then in that because that adds to that Heyman drama.
So you're picking
Oba to
Oba
win.
to win, but you got
Well,
Gunther as
and
a
then
bonus point attack.
Gunther attack on the bonus. I think that's the easiest bonus point of the night. I mean, if I'm being real.
Nah, I mean, I could be down for that. We
Especially
got.
if you're if that's especially if you're giving that one away for free, you better do something to get people hyped.
Well, I mean that they've been doing a pretty good job with how they're building this. I just find it weird that they'd be giving that away for free.
That's not a match you should give away for free. I can understand the ladder match. That's because giving away the ladder match for free with the talent that you have in there, that's basically doing the same thing WCW did with Nitro and putting a cruiserweight title match on to open the show. I dig it. I'm down with that. Let's get rolling and get that
Yeah,
energy fast paced. But that's too big a match. I
Well,
think that's honestly the spot where I would have put the women's championship match.
Rhea versus Jade, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams has got to catch the dub here. I think Sammy's transitional.
Sammy 100.
Okay. Well, at least we got some variety now.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why Sammy's going to win this. Because he's finally willing to play dirty.
Is he though?
That's the story though. That's the whole story. Both times against Carmelo, both his wins against Carmelo were
So
what he got, knowing that it was dirty. That was the story that's being told here very clearly. Is he knew in both of the matches against Melo that there was bullshit that happened and he took advantage of it. I think that
honestly, I feel bad for Carmelo.
No, this should be a triple threat. I honestly don't understand why this isn't a triple
This
threat.
could have been a fatal 4-way with Ilya Dragunov.
Absolutely, but I think this should have been booked as a triple threat on Friday night. Like, I don't understand why Carmelo was given the title shot on SmackDown instead of being given the title shot at WrestleMania. Now, I could 100% believe, because we still got one SmackDown left before WrestleMania, and I would not be surprised at all if Carmelo Hayes is added to this match. And if that's the case, and that's why I want to preface this, I think Sami Zayn wins if it's just Carmelo versus Trick Williams. If it becomes a triple threat match, I think Melo gets the title back.
Okay. So we'll do a caveat.
Trick doesn't need the win. Trick is so over. Trick is so over right now that legitimately he could challenge the winner of Randy and Cody.
So I think, yeah, Trick is super over.
I think that's a better use for him, honestly.
I think they're positioning him for a big babyface run. I think they're testing the crowd. His reaction's positive no matter what he does. I think we have. Now you got me questioning my choice. I think I'm going to stick with it.
I think. Okay, can we? The more I say it after saying, think about it after saying it. I think realistically, this is a triple threat match. I don't think that this stays a one-on-one contest.
Okay.
I think it's turned into a triple threat on Friday night. Like I'm not even saying that that's like my extra point or anything. I think that's just a fact. Like looking
it feels
at
weird to like position Melo that way.
Everything we've seen in the build-up, it doesn't make sense not to use Melo, who is super over at WrestleMania. It just doesn't make any sense. So I think the story, the way it's been told, I think it's really easy to have Nick Aldis come out on SmackDown and go, Melo got fucked twice.
Yeah. Well, so there's a world where if they make it a triple threat, I'm down for having Melo get the dub, win the title back. Well, that is a caveat to both of ours. But if Melo's not involved in the actual match at Mania, I've got Trick Williams winning, and I've got Melo helping him. I got Melo.
I could see that. I could see that.
Him that getting pissed off. He carried that. We were there when he won it. He carried that championship.
Oh, I'm a huge Carmelo. That was the best match of the night too, hands down. That was a fantastic contest with Ilya Dragunov. I think he's been a great U.S. champion. I think that this feud is bringing back credibility to the United States Championship, and that's why I'm okay with it, like jumping hands a little bit.
Yeah, as long as they do it right. Yeah. I already gave away my pick for the next one. I've got Finn Balor beating Dominic Mysterio. I don't think Dominic needs this.
If you okay. Yeah, I think this is hands down Balor win. I think this is an easy call Balor win because it's the Demon, and he's
Yeah, if it
not
was
bringing back
just Finn, then I would have Dominic winning.
the fact that it's the Demon, the fact he's finally bringing it back after so long. He's not going to bring it back just to lose. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, like
like
that would be a hard line for Finn,
well, the last time he brought it back was when he faced Edge at WrestleMania, and
and a
that was a
loss.
loss.
And then the time before that was a loss to Roman Reigns.
Yep.
So
And God, he lost. It was a handicap match. It was God
handicap
versus Roman
match.
Reigns. God, that was. I
was
popped
funny.
myself every time I think of that. All right, so the next one, this went from being a match that I was super excited for all year long because I was like, man, this could tell. We've got Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna let you go first because I'm still undecided.
Okay, I think Rhea gets the win. Mostly because I think like we just need a freshening of the championship, and I don't think that WWE has gotten what they wanted out of Jade.
Well, that's why they had to give her a faction 4 weeks before WrestleMania.
Um, I don't I don't think the feud necessarily needs to be over. I think this is one of those times where like you let Rhea get the win, let her take the championship. Let's keep the feud going for another month, see how it feels, and if we feel like Jade and this new faction have picked it up to a new level, then maybe we give her another run. Otherwise, we can keep the belt on our tried and true champion. Rhea Ripley is always you can always depend. Mommy is dependable.
Mommy's always on top.
So yeah, I'm going with Mom.
Yeah. The only reason I was undecided is because like there's part of me that's like, you could really swerve the entire audience by having Bianca Belair return and cost Rhea the title. Keeping it on Jade, keeping this going.
I mean, just the same way though, Rhea could like if Rhea was getting like destroyed
Bianca could
by
be the superhero
by
return.
everybody, Io comes in, Io gets put down. Who's going to be that person who can like level the playing field? Now you have Bianca Belair show up. That could be awesome too.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if Bianca was to show up, I think it's even more reason to put the belt on Rhea because again now Rhea can be that champion holder. You don't need the title for the story between Bianca and Jade, but having it doesn't hurt. So again, that same reasoning still applies.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go with Rhea. Similar logic of, I don't think they've gotten what they've bargained for out of Jade, particularly the weird pseudo shoot shit we had like a month and a half ago. Like
that
to
has
me,
to be dealt with.
I think that's part of the reason she has a faction now is they're trying to protect her, trying to salvage what they can. But like, it's Jade Cargill has the look, she has the star appeal. She lacks the depth and the wrestling knowledge to carry herself as a champion.
Experience
That, she did an interview with, I think it was Joe Budden the other day, where she said her NXT was AEW. And she'd never wrestled before that. It really hasn't gotten much better.
So I think, what she reminds me of? Honestly, she reminds me a lot of the Big Dog.
Big Dog Roman Reigns, yeah.
Big Dog Roman Reigns. It's like everything is there. Like we see it. Like as the fans, we saw what Roman could become before he became the OTC. But
over-the-counter medicine.
But you weren't going to do it with lackluster feuds with Baron Corbin and bad gimmicks, eating dog food, like that
weird old man eating dog. Yeah. I'm sorry, that whole.
I'm so glad he brought that up.
We'll end the show with that song, and Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot we had the song.
but yeah, now speaking of the big dog,
Are we there? Are we up to the main event now?
we're up to the main event. We got CM Punk, World Heavyweight Champion, versus Roman Reigns.
This to me is the most interesting match of the card. The
Yes.
one that I think is the absolute hardest to call because not only does it set the tone for the next 6 months,
I'd argue it sets a tone for next Mania, depending on what route they want to go.
that's true too. Um, there are about a billion ways that this could play out.
Mm-hmm. I talked like even a month ago about how it'd be really interesting to have The Rock show up and basically cost Roman Reigns the match. Lay CM Punk out. If you're going to go that route, then The Rock showing up and costing Cody Rhodes the match night 1, and The Rock inserting himself night 2 along with Pat McAfee. Have The Rock be Vince McMahon from the corporate ministry, the corporation.
If The Rock is going to show up, I mean, it's always like this big question about whether The Rock will show up or not.
I'm kind of tired of having to fucking say it and ask it. But if he does, those would be the areas you'd expect him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could leave both nights of WrestleMania with the fans feeling dog shit. Like if Cody gets turned on night 1, this really is hard. Like I don't really want to see Roman with the belt unless he's actually going to be around, though. Like I am over the part-time showing up once a month champions. I really am. I know we preach less is more. Less is more, except for me, except in that regard. You don't have to wrestle every time, but you need to be there. And I don't know which way to go. Punk really, that promo last night, I don't see him turning heel. That would be, I mean, unless you're going Austin versus Rock 19, where you've got Rock in the Vince role, you've got Roman in the Austin role, The Rock here. Or no, be Punk in the Austin role, Rock in the Roman role, because that's when Austin turned heel. Was it 17? It was 17 that happened, right?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania X7.
So if your plan is to set something up big for Saudi Arabia next year, having Punk turn heel could work. It sets up the match between Roman and The Rock. You then have a bevy of new, fresh baby faces that could challenge a heel Punk. I really don't know which way to go. I'm honestly, for the first time in a long time, WWE's actually stumped me.
I have my pick. I know the pick I'm going with, so I'm trying to give you ample time to make yours.
All right, I'm going to make mine. You go first.
I do believe that this is all about setting up the next year of storytelling. And as in many years in the past, and many shows in the past, the whole fucking reason you're the champion of our predictions isn't because you've picked the stuff you want to have happen or you hope to have happen. You have picked the stuff that you see them doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to do here tonight. My pick is Roman Reigns defeats CM Punk at WrestleMania with the help of the Usos and Solo Sikoa. I believe the entire bloodline comes back together at WrestleMania. And the reason that I think that we do this is one, from a financial standpoint, WWE knows that their most successful storyline in the past 5 years to 10 years has been the bloodline. Like, there's not really an argument. Um, I do think Sami Zayn was a big part of that, but whatever. Um, it was a very successful storyline, and it's one that still holds a lot of oomph to the current fan base. And we've all been kind of waiting to see it. I mean, it's always felt like that's waiting to come back around, even more than when other factions break up and you expect them to get back together. Um, lately the Usos they've changed their look again.
New song, new look, new attitude.
And notably they're both wearing black,
Mm-hmm.
which is a heel color and something we haven't seen them do since they were heel bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's foreshadowing. We know they like to do the foreshadowing thing. And what I think is really cool about this is what's different about it from last time is now you have CM Punk. And we were talking about how I mentioned how we need a Stone Cold Steve Austin attitude figure. Punk is the closest we have to that right now.
Absolutely.
So to parry your best angle that you've had in the last 5 years with the potential of a Stone Cold Steve Austin to thwart that bad guy force, I think that's the story that we tell for the next year. I think this has legit legs, and I think the fact that Roman and Punk managed to legit captivate with just storytelling without physically getting involved with each other. It it wasn't just the first couple weeks of the build after the Rumble. This is something we've seen progressing since fucking uh
Survivor
Survivor
Series.
Series.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that kind of longevity with no physicality to now go into this next phase of the story, I think that's the way to go. I think that's where the money is. And because I'm following the money, I'm picking Roman Reigns.
All right. Well, makes my so you
You're
actually
like, God
literally
damn, that's a good fucking argument.
you actually literally laid out my entire bonus point for the night. Yeah, that's that was my pick also as well. Uh it's funny. No, I do think you're right. I think when it comes to they need the Stone Cold Austin type character, or Stone Cold Steve Austin type character. Punk has held the championship. He's made it credible. You know, if we're really going all out with this, I don't think it's something as simple as just the bloodline. I think it's the MFT solo.
Oh yeah, you could. Well,
Super
that
bloodline.
like there is a question of like how deep you go with this. Like, is it full? I mean, is it rock?
That's where I'm getting. So I talked about having Punk turn heel. I don't even necessarily think it's Roman turning heel. I mean, they know where the money's at there. I think Punk's comments about Sika come back to haunt him.
Ooh.
I think the entire this is the match is gonna they're gonna fight out in the crowd. I think Punk gets his ass beat by the entire bloodline, not just Roman, not just the Usos, not just Solo. I think it's the corporate bloodline. Really lean into the TKO polished, the money. I think The Rock also shows up, and I think Roman Reigns does pick up the W. Punk's left in a bloody mess while the bloodline stands tall.
Mhm.
Punk's written off TV for a few weeks, comes back, at the next pay per view. You could have babyface, whoever the next babyface is up in line for that, challenge Roman. Roman beats their ass. Punk, maybe the whole bloodline starts beating them down again.
You know who?
Punk comes out.
I know he's on the other brand, but I think this is the greatest place to give the Miz a title shot.
I don't hate it.
Like he's the perfect guy to do that. He's a former world champion. He's a great worker, great talker. And you can lean into that. I'm there every week. You go into those stories about, Roman kicking him off the bus and how far he's come and all that. And then Roman just decimates him.
I could be down for that. I need to think about who that actual babyface would be. I don't think it'd be the Miz, but I could see your logic there. I think CM Punk. I'm going to use my bonus point here. I think Roman Reigns defeats CM Punk
with the help of the bloodline.
With the help of the bloodline.
You don't have to get more specific. You don't have to get more specific than that. I don't think it's fair to be like, all right, and which Tongas do you think are going to show up?
Yeah. Well, and it could just.
I will ask you, just as like a interesting, question of what you would think. Do you think that Jacob Fatu would be a part of that?
I think he's the one. There's your babyface to challenge Roman afterwards.
I would. That would be. Yeah, I can
think about it. Think about it. Solo would be like, he beats Drew.
He just beat Drew. Yeah, that looks good.
So Jacob comes out and he says, Punk said some disrespectful shit about family. I would have been on site with me, but I don't want to do that jumping people shit. I'm all gas, no brakes. But let's talk about it. Let's do the one-on-one thing. Let me beat your ass myself. I don't need the entire family to do it.
Do you know how long I've been waiting to whip your ass?
And then have him literally say, but man, he isn't wrong. You kind of are a polished asshole. You act like you're better than the rest of the family. You're not. You're not better than me. Yeah, I made some bad choices. Yeah, I've been down these roads. But do you know how long I've been wanting to beat your ass, to knock you off your pedestal? Boom. There's a 2-month feud right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I could see that being really good.
Then you build Jacob into a credible main eventer who could challenge Roman and the heel bloodline.
I think also, though, the thing that the kind of takeaway here, whether we're talking about The Miz or Jacob Fatu, you and I are both saying the same thing at the end of the day. One thing that needs to happen is after WrestleMania, you need to shake up the rosters. These rosters
absolutely
have to get shook. We've seen the same matches and the same feuds for way too long now.
I think WWE's gotten a little stagnant with their storytelling in terms of how long feuds are. We don't need 3, 4, 5, 6 month long feuds. It's good once in a while.
Sometimes it's great to just give me something on Monday that happens, and then let it wrap up a week later. I'm down with that.
It could be a week or a month. Sometimes. I'm fine with that. And I think you would build reps and credibility. I think we're going to see the largest call up in NXT history to the main roster after Mania.
That's a bold prediction, Cotton.
Woo-wee. Come on, good Brian.
All right. Well, everybody, we've had a lot of fun tonight, and we've made some good predictions. I can't wait to see how this turns out. And legit, I really hope that this is a better WrestleMania than the build-up has led to. But we got a little something for you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go off the air, CM Punk did a great job with that.
He really did.
With that pipe bomb. But maybe we can have a little more fun with it. Maybe.
Fraud-checking goofs like him who hate me because I won't trade my authenticity for approval. Being hated
That fucking slap. That's a bar.
Maybe I'll show up, I doubt it. But maybe what? Are you gonna be mad at me? Cause he didn't show up. Because I damn near crippled him. I showed up. And I'm an old man. All not weak. Roman Reigns says he hates me. And I understand. I know why he hates me. But now, let me take a moment to explain to everybody who bothered to show up in Houston why I hate Roman Reigns. You see that sign?
I didn't expect that.
WrestleMania Las Vegas. That is the biggest show of the year. The granddaddy of them all. And Roman, we both have the tools to climb the ladder and make it to the pinnacle of this king's sport. The difference is, my tools are self-made, and they're sharpened into a deadly point through years of self-belief and hard work.
It's like mildly pop punk, you know?
But always sacrifice. And your tools, they're store-bought, hand-delivered. And like you, they're plastic. See, back in the day,
Somewhere Cameron is going
I
nuts
was too
right now.
young and stupid to really understand. But now I'm too rich and too old to give a damn. And I understand why this company, why TKO sends you your belt and Jimmy Fallon. It's because you're safe, you're boring, you're plastic, you're saccharine, you're manufactured. And me, I'm
That entire promo was nothing but fucking
because you
hard.
never know what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna say. Why is it that I can film half a dozen television
All right.
shows and movies and never miss a day, but you use it as a crutch to not sure? And somehow these people are gonna boo
All right.
me when I give them.
All right, we
All
thought
right.
we'd have a little fun with that, but it's been a
We
great
don't
show.
Wanna
I
play
might
the
go
whole
listen
thing
to that
as well.
later. But
That's what I'm falling
as-
asleep to tonight.
As always, guys, it's been fun. Make sure you go to enforcechew.com, enter the code SOG25 for 25% off all your Enforced Chew needs. It'll get you HARD.
That's
Have a
right,
good
guys.
night.
Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to tune in next Monday when we return with our second episode of Red Summer, our new D&D campaign. Till then, I'm Brian Mercer.
Have a good night.